Well, Donald Trump's press conference this morning wasn't only about spanking his enemies in the media. Trump also announced his plans to avoid conflicts of interest by ending his involvement with his company, the Trump Organization. Here's part of what he said.
My company is much bigger, much more powerful than they ever thought. We're in many, many countries, and I'm very proud of it. And what I'm going to be doing is my two sons, who are right here, Don and Eric, are going to be running the company. They are going to be running it in a very professional manner. They're not going to discuss it with me. Again, I don't have to do this.
Well, some ethics experts say the new plan does not come close to resolving potential conflicts of interest, ones he may face as president. We're joined from Minneapolis by someone who says that. He is Richard Painter. He's a law professor who served as an ethics attorney for President George W. Bush. Richard, thanks a lot for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, Tucker.
You heard what the president-elect said. He said, look, I'm distancing myself from the company. My boys are taking it over. Neither my daughter nor I will have any conversation with them about how it runs. They're divesting from a bunch of foreign deals they have, and they're taking the profits from the foreign deals still in place and putting them into the U.S. Treasury. Why is that not enough?
Well, the problems remain if the president is going to own the businesses. First, they only address the profits from foreign government transactions with the hotels. We haven't heard about what they're going to do about loans from foreign government-owned banks and leasing space to foreign government-owned companies. So we haven't heard a comprehensive plan for sweeping out all of the foreign government money before January 20, and that's absolutely critical to comply with the Constitution. But we also have some serious questions about these buildings around the world with the Trump name on them. Having the president's name on a building outside the United States, particularly in places like the Philippines or Indonesia or Turkey, as I see in the news quite frequently, there are a lot of security concerns over there. And it would be very tragic to have a building get attacked and people lose their lives because the president's name is on the building. And they need to address that. I haven't heard any...
Right, but that's a separate... I mean, that's a legitimate question, of course, but that's really a matter to be resolved by the building owner, I would think. But back to the ethics, ethics question. I mean, certainly you've had presidents who have investments, who have money that's working for them as they're serving. LBJ famously did, but I think a lot of presidents have, and it didn't seem to stop their presidency in the tracks. Why is Trump different?
Well, a lot of his profits is from putting his name on buildings and licensing his name out. So it's up to him whether his name's on a building or not. And he may have a contract with the building owner, but he can say, look, I'm president of the United States. It's dangerous to have my name on that building. We're not going to be able to protect it. I want my name off of all buildings outside the United States.
Well, that may be the right thing to do from a, and you may be right in that from a humanitarian perspective. Perhaps that's the right call. But I mean from an ethics perspective, which is what I think everybody, pro-Trump and anti-Trump, is concerned about. I mean, it could gum up his administration if he gets in ethics trouble. And so my question is, why is what he's doing not enough? Can he own the company but not run it? A lot of people do that, I think, don't they?
Well, the operations overseas, we're going to get into the issue of who has to pay for security for the buildings. Who has to pay when he gets into a business operation overseas and there's some person who has influence of a foreign government overseas who then is trying to influence the United States government policy. These are serious conflicts of interest. And just to say, well, his sons are running the business, he's not running the business. A lot of these businesses are with people, are connected with foreign governments, and he's in charge of protecting the interests of the United States of America. And not getting himself entangled all over the world or having his sons on his behalf entangled in business deals all over the world. He could sell a lot of it off. He could have a couple of $1 billion, which is great, and then focus on running the country. This is a very, very important job, and he's been chosen by the American people, and he needs to give that the #1 priority. And this is just too much of a distraction. Plaintiffs' lawyers are going to be shooting at this thing right and left with lawsuits. They love suing the President of the United States. We heard about President Clinton.
Well, I mean, a lot of what you're saying is of course true, but I'm having trouble discerning what is an ethical problem, like legitimate ethical conflict for him, and what is just unattractive or bad PR.
Anything that interferes with his ability to be the best possible president of the United States. is an ethical problem. His obligations are to the United States. He's going to take an oath next Friday to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. And he's going to have to defend us against enemies, foreign and domestic. And this is a dangerous world we live in. And we can't have a president tied down with personal business holdings. We wouldn't want to have FDR at the time of World War II if he'd had properties in Berlin and Frankfurt. That would have been a disaster. So I think that it's time to sell the businesses and be president.
All right. Richard Painter, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.